In 2021, I repotted this big hemlock bonsai and the short went viral. Now the tree has recovered, it's time to make sense of the branch design. As usual, I start with cleaning out anything that is weak, dead, or clearly out of sync with the scale of the tree. It helps me to get familiar with the branch layout and make some space for the detailed work a bit later. When styling, I usually try to work on a branch at a time, starting with the main defining branch, the feature branch that would dictate the style and feel of the design. Trouble is, there isn't really a clear defining branch just yet, and I'm pushed for time. So I'm going to prioritise the structural setting before the branches thicken and become less flexible. It's a shame really, because there is enough foliage to complete a full styling. Also, the previous summer and winter weather were a bit strange, so I'm hesitant to remove lots of foliage in case there has been any stress. I'm using a guy wire to reposition this branch. Guy wires are safest when attaching to the tree itself rather than the pot. This ensures the tree takes all of the force. If securing to the pot, force is exerted through the root system, which can be an issue for heavy bends or immature root systems. That said, structural roots can be used as an anchor, as the fine root system isn't affected that way. As I apply tension, I move the branch, then tighten the wire, giving me the chance to check for signs of stress in the bark. The chosen anchor affects the direction that the branch will be moved, and there isn't a good candidate for this branch, so I'm using a piece of rebar tied to some dead branches. Ideally, the branches the rebar is attached to would lock it in place, allowing zero movement. But because of the layout of the deadwood and the angle that I need to bend the branch in, it's not possible for me to completely lock it, so I have to make do with tying it with wire, which does allow a little bit of play. But still, I'm happy with the result. Because this is such a tall tree, I'm positioning the primary branches lower in order to compress the design and give the feel of them being weighed down with rain. I wrap annealed copper wire around the more flexible branches where I'd like to use movement in more than one direction. With all this foliage, it can be fiddly work, which is made easier by the cleaning steps earlier. The Bonsai Mirai teachings of same angle, same spacing, no gaps, and supporting the branch as the wire is wrapped are all techniques I try to follow. It's July now and growth has been vigorous. The trees responded well and the apical region is showing its dominance. Hemlock thicken rapidly in the second half of the season, and the wire from the spring is already biting. Despite the strong growth, I'm still not going to commit to the full styling, as I'm probably going to repot this tree in spring 2024. That said, I do still have some work to do today. I'll start by unwiring the areas that have swollen enough for the wire to look sunken. It's quicker to cut the wire off, but where the branches have thickened, I need to unwind it carefully. Even though I'm not fully styling the tree today, I am cutting back obnoxiously long primary and secondary branches. I cut back to buds or healthy side shoots. I also start pruning to create an alternating branch structure ready for future wiring work and to prevent structural issues occurring. It's important to unwind by lifting the wire out of any groove in the same direction it was laid to minimise tearing of any bark. I do this by supporting the branch and wire with my offhand, unwinding a centimetre at a time, adjusting the angle as I go. This means the upper branches are much stronger than the lower branches. In bonsai, this can lead to a heavy looking apical region, while lower branches stay skinny, become weak, and possibly even die back. The strong get stronger, the weak get weaker. To counter this, upper branches are cut back harder than the lower branches, reducing the foliage in those areas. Lower branches are pruned lightly or not at all. The goal is balance. All branches to receive the same amount of energy. Despite the lack of time, I am happy with the progress that we've made. We'll be back in autumn or the next growing season for updates of my hemlock bonsai. That's all for today. Thanks for watching and take care.